Okay. Hi, I'm Ava,
And I'm Gibson.
and this is the Goleta Green Score. So, coming into this, we saw the effects of consumerism on the environment around us and also recognized a lack of knowledge surrounding businesses' practices. So, for our mountaintop goal, we knew we wanted to impact change in the way businesses run and produce their products, as well as help consumers be more conscious of the impact their purchases are making, ultimately, with the goal of influencing businesses' behavior and consumer behavior to reflect their environmental values.
So, to specifically achieve this, we first aim to survey students about their concerns and attention to businesses' sustainability so that we could properly serve our community. We then needed to develop a concise ranking system that could be translated into a nicely designed website that was easy to navigate and digest by all types of students, not just environmental studies majors. Throughout the spring, then, we wanted to target businesses and evaluate and collect our data. And then after this, once we had the website published, we would advertise it through social media and ultimately get it out to the community.
So first we decided to when we were working on our survey, we wanted to understand consumer values to communicate the importance of our website to businesses. So first we worked with our mentor to create the survey to try to find out what consumers in Isla Vista valued when they made purchases and whether or not their environmental impact was a factor for the general public. And we wanted to ensure that, as Gibby said, the survey wasn't just taken by our peers in the environmental studies department. So we designed flyers for social media and print to encourage students and other members of Isla Vista to take our survey with the incentive of a $25 gift card at the co-op. And you can see on the right what our flyer looked like in our social media posts. So ultimately, we got 127 respondents, 60.6% of which were non-ES students. So we felt pretty satisfied with that. And we learned that community members have and would be willing to shop at more sustainable businesses, but there are barriers in terms of lack of knowledge surrounding business practices and reluctance to switch to a less convenient alternative.
So to develop our ranking system, we worked with contacts that we already had at the California Green Business Network, and we were able to create a synthesized version of their official checklist for business certification. So on the right, bottom right, you can see that is the official checklist from the California Green Business Network that goes through very specific criteria for a business to become certified. And what we did is simplify that into 6 different categories that students expressed they cared about on our survey. So this is a screenshot from our website, the 2 images on the left. And this is our stoplight ranking system for each of these categories, and that's a simple version. And then you can scroll down and see the specific pros and cons that the business practices in each of those categories.
So then we had the vision of creating an interactive map that would allow viewers of the website to click on any business to view their scores, but neither of us are proficient coders, so we used Base 44, which is an AI-assisted website building platform, to help us in the creation and editing of our website. And it was a process of continuous prompting and refining as we decided what was important to include on the website. And you can see a screenshot of the map on the left and then our about page on the right. So in addition to the map, background about the project, explanation about how we score and key statistics from our survey are showcased on the about page to highlight the importance of our project. And we officially published this about a week ago on May 20th before our IRCA presentations.
So now that we had basically the skeleton of our final product, we needed to conduct business outreach and start evaluating. So this was definitely the hardest part of our project because businesses were heavily non-compliant. But you can see we use multiple methods. We first reached out by email to business owners. This is a example of one of the emails that we sent out. And we also had these digital and physical flyers that we would bring in person to businesses and maybe like basically walk around and talk to managers that were there. Um, so in the end, we ended up developing this survey, which has a QR code for businesses to fill out that answered specific questions about different practices that were synthesized versions of the California Green Business network checklist from before. And by seeing how they self-evaluated on that survey, we then could score them based on our ranking system. And to make sure that businesses were telling the truth, we would follow up in person, make observations there, but we honestly only had very honest self-evaluation from everyone, and it ended up being quite successful.
And then for our goals for the future, we plan to publicize the website to students via Instagram, other social medias, word of mouth, email newsletters, and by putting stickers with QR codes in the businesses that we have ranked windows to encourage business participation and general awareness in the community.
And then additionally, we're going to transfer ownership of this project to one of the committees in the club in a club that I will be president of next year, Gauchos Go Green. And one of the committees is the Green Certification Committee, which works with the California Green Business Network to certify businesses. And we essentially want those students in the future to continue populating the website with businesses, continue that outreach using the same survey and criteria that we initially created so that we can get a lot more content on the website after AVA graduates.
And then this whole process was a learning and growing journey. Some things I learned about leadership were the importance of detailed planning. I feel like having a specific timeline was really helpful to know exactly what I wanted to do and when to maximize the time that we had to spend on the project, especially with other commitments. And then also the importance of being confident when communicating, especially when approaching businesses. I think that one thing I learned is like if you don't take yourself seriously, then no one you're talking to will take you seriously. So it's really important to just be confident and have the right attitude.
Yeah, to build on that, something that I experienced was it's obviously really difficult and awkward at times to approach these businesses, especially in person. And I found that I had to gain a lot of confidence in myself and confidence in my project so that we could actually get people to comply and help us out with what we were doing. And additionally, we had to be leaders for our community by doing this survey and seeing like what the students actually wanted to see and to make sure that this project we were doing would benefit other people and not just ourselves. So we really had to think holistically about it.
And then thank you to everyone who helped us along the way, our mentor, Hillary, Erica, our peers in the class, and cool. And this is our website QR code if you want to scan it.
Thank you.